You spoke about 4 types of intellectuals that Luigi Einaudi distinguished in his 1954 article. What roles did they play in political thought at the time the article was written, and how do they interact today?
Yeah, this is a very good question. So they, first of all, he was personally the theorist, the first one, plus with the expertise of the second one. But he was also a political man, in the sense that he was member of the parliament. So he was englobed all of the 3, but not the 4th. So in his time, the 4th would be, according to my interpretation, those who embraced strong ideologies like Soviet kind of ideologies on the one hand. This was the socialist, and he would refuse that, of course. But also many fundamental Christians also could be included in this doctrinaire. So he played these roles, not the 4th one, the doctrinaire. He played all the 3 roles, and there were other intellectuals very important playing the same roles. Maybe think about the chair of the Banca Nazionale, o della Banca Nazionale, come si chiama? Banca Nazionale. Yeah, the central bank in Italy, or think about important political economic figures like Lamalfa or others. There are plenty of these kind of intellectuals, actually, both parties and not. Yeah.
And you said that we have left the socialist era, or the end of ideology, and now we're in the era of liberalist doctrine. When did this happen, and what are the characteristics of each era in terms of intellectuals and politics?
So, just to remain within now these distinctions, liberalist and socialist for him were 2 extreme, like religious rendering of ideas that perhaps could have been also good ideas, a liberal idea or a social ideas. In itself was not bad. It was the transformation of it into a doctrine that is without a discussion that this would be the right way to take, right? So he was against this. In relation to that, I think this decline, the decline of ideologies of this religious kind, this could be in the 80s. I mean, the great moment was, of course, the collapse of the Soviet Union, but the decline was already there. Think about all the conquest of individual civil rights, from abortion, divorce in Italy. They were important individual rights, not collective rights and social rights, individual rights. So the struggle for individual rights was also an important factor that changed the mentality of the people, and this religious kind of ideology started fading away in relation also to this individual stressing individual aspect of rights. So I would say that the socialist as an ideology ended definitely with the end of Soviet Union.
And in your opinion, what kind of participation is missing in Italian political dialogue today? And what does this mean for the future of Italy?
Well, you're very good in calling dialogue, because I said that. It's a very problematic question, because it's difficult to answer this question. Today, there is the impression that political parties, the number 3 of the division of Einaudi, these political parties are in agony. They are in agony because not only corruption that is clear, but also those who have not strong corruption inside, that are unable to cope with the crisis that in front of the people, political parties. And there are other movements outside, through the internet, through face-to-face relations, that are growing. And they are expressing forms, different forms of participation. On the one hand, different discourses, because they are against the political class. And what they can produce is very hard to say, because from, you know, these, like in Germany, these e-parties, the parties of the electronic parties, like the Pirate there, which is the equivalent of 5 stars here in Italy, they are parties important to aggregate people who are discomfort, distressed with them, but they don't have a project. So once again, future is not inside of this conversation, both in the oppositional parties or movements and in the ruling party, those who are in government. They are concentrate on present, so on necessity of the present. So where there is no future, no sense of possibility, it is very hard for politics to exist. Politics is the art of the possible.